Hey Bays, it's Bailey and welcome back to another speed build. Today we are building a rustic spa using the Orjanic CC pack by House of Harlix. I am absolutely in love with this CC. It is so beautiful, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that I wanted to use it in all of my Henford builds. However, unfortunately, the objects in it are very expensive, and all of the main builds for my cottage living LP have restrictive budgets, so I couldn't really play with the objects like I wanted to. But since commercial lots, budget is no object, it's perfect for that. And with the spa day refresh, I wanted to try my hand at building a spa, which is something I've never done before. And the vibe of Orjanic, in addition to a lot of other things, it reminded me of this spa out in the countryside that I went to once, and I wanted to capture that feeling of like serenity and luxury that you get out there, and I hopefully achieved that. So you'll notice that I'm building this in kind of the reverse order of what you'd usually see. I'm starting with the rooms and piecing them together like a puzzle. Part of the reason for that is because this is my second attempt at building this lot, and in my first attempt, I struggled so much to get the floor plan right. I just could not make it happen. So I went back to my building roots, and decided to just, look at it from a different angle. I've mentioned before on this channel that shells and floor plans just confuse the hell out of me. So unless I'm copying a specific plan, which I didn't really think to look up a floor plan for a barn spa, I guess I could have, but it just made more sense to me to build it this way. And this is something that I do a lot, where I will lay out the individual rooms first and then piece them together. It's definitely not a perfect system, but it usually helps me ensure that I get everything inside the build that needs to be there. And with there being so many objects that needed to go into this lot, I did find it helpful to build this way. I know Plumbella did this as a challenge once, and I was like, hey, nobody else builds like this, I guess. But it's definitely, it presents its own challenges, that's for sure. So for the exterior, we ended up going for this barn conversion look, even though in practice this would be a very large barn. So we're copying that aesthetic without it really being that function. And it has, what I end up doing with this back part where I didn't, where the roof kind of doesn't continue, is I just made that all glass. So as you're doing your things, you can look out onto this vista. And I built this in one of the lots in Granite Falls. I was gonna do Henford on Bagley, but then I thought about just this view with the trees and the mountain and the river running by, and it's like, that's so pretty. And with how much light you get through these windows, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to I don't know, have a yoga studio where you have this kick-ass view out the back. I mean, I know I'd want to go there. Maybe not do yoga, but we also have the onsen with the glass windows looking out over that view as well. So I could definitely chill in there for a good while, especially if they have some nice nature sounds being piped in. Oh god, this sounds lovely. So something that I really like about this pack, but that I'm not able to fully appreciate, is that it's very builder friendly. So there was a bit of a learning curve for me. I didn't know how to use it effectively, because I'm not an especially good builder. I do a lot better with interiors than with exteriors. But as I watched other builders use it and played around with it a little bit more myself, I began to realize just how good these objects are for building. And it's something that I haven't really been able to appreciate often in, my Sims lifetime. With that being said, yes, this is a very builder-friendly CC pack. And the objects, as you can probably see, let you do a lot of customization with, like, the trusses that you can put up in the ceiling, with these windows that you can make these big triangle windows. But I think one of the most ingenious additions that they made to this pack was these individual cornerstones. I don't know that I use them in this build, but in the pack there are like individual cornerstones that you can just place wherever you want so that you don't run into the issues that you get with the in-game cornerstone wallpaper where you put it on your build and sometimes it doesn't hit all the corners that you want. And, with these cornerstones, you can just put them anywhere, and that's great. And more creative builders than myself will, they do these amazing things with them, where, okay, I guess it's not, that revolutionary, but I still thought it was really cool. I watched, the first part of Sim Passion's Orjanic Estate, at least I think that's what it was, that he used the cornerstones on windows to make his own custom cornerstone windows, or their own custom cornerstone windows, and I thought that was really neat, because it's something I hadn't thought to do before. There it is, top row, fifth in, that's the cornerstone. And then I also really love these trusses, because they have them in a few different sizes, and you can use them as decorative objects, or like I said, you can use them in your ceilings to give you these fun ceiling beams, and I love a beam. I am kind of a slut for beams. Anytime I see good beam work in a build on Instagram or something, I will call out those beams because I am that person. So if you are a more experienced builder watching this video, I'm sure my naivete in the field is showing itself, as I don't really know what I'm doing with these objects, but I think no matter your skill level in building, you can agree these are very fun objects to play with. And there's so many different things you can do with them. And I know people have been going nuts over these shutters that you put on the outside of your doors and windows, or you can cover your doors and windows with them. Yes, those are great. These full windows are great. The arched windows with the panes are great. There's so much here to unpack and to mess around with. It's I don't even know where to stop with this. And you know what? I'm probably not the only one. If you've played with this CC at all, you've probably felt the same way, where it's holy crap, how many of these trusses and beams and stuff can I throw up on this wall before it just gets to be too much? I don't know. Is there ever too much? Yes, there is definitely a too much. These windows, though, never too much. Columns, never too much. And it just goes to show how fun these objects are, because I don't think I've ever spent this long playing with an exterior of a build. I'm usually all about decking out the interior, and the exterior usually comes as an afterthought to me. Not as much of an afterthought as landscaping does, which I did not landscape this build, because by the time I stopped recording, it had already been 3 hours and I was tired. And that's usually what happens to me when I save landscaping for last, is I'm too tired to do it. So it ends up falling by the wayside. I'm trying to remember to leave time and energy for it in my energy budget, I guess you could call it. You know what I'm talking about, even if it doesn't make sense. But yeah, so no landscaping on this one, just all of what you see here. So now we're just finishing up the exterior, hopefully. We've got a couple of different wallpapers to choose from, some very nice beamed ones that, for some reason, a lot of this stuff makes me think of Snow White. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe that's crazy, maybe it's not. But yeah, just trying to figure out where to place the different types of walls. Because I knew I wanted to, like, mix things up, have some stone, some, you know, beams, some not, and then, it's just, there's just so much here to play with. And it's like, the possibilities are nearly endless. And I'm going on for a long time because I keep thinking we're gonna switch to the interior and give me something to talk about, but no, I just keep going with the exterior. Because there's just so much to do. And, yeah, I reached a point I don't even know what to do with myself anymore. Okay, are we finally moving on to the exterior? Hooray, we are! Interior, oh my god, I am losing control of my words. This is awful. So, while the interior is still in its nascent stages, let me tell you a little bit about the CC. It is designed by, or created by House of Harlix, which is a collaboration between HeyHarrie and Felixandre. They are both incredible custom content creators. I have linked this pack in the description. It came out in 2 parts. The first part was primarily the build objects, and then the second part was the buy objects, so this incorporates both parts. Both parts 1 and 2 are now available for everyone to enjoy for free, but if you do want to support the creators on Patreon, you can usually get early access to new CC. I just got early access to the HeyHarrie's Spoons Part 1, because I do support HeyHarrie on Patreon, because I absolutely needed to get the part 2 of this before it was released. That if you're willing and able to support them on Patreon, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate that, as creating these packs is their livelihood. I mean, I don't know what else they do with their lives, that's not really my business, but, you know, if someone is running a Patreon doing something like creating content like this, clearly it means a lot to them to have people support them. So if you can and you want to, please do. And I guess I should specify that, like, neither of them told me to say any of this. I just wanted to because, you know, I like supporting creative people who do great things. And is that a crime? I don't think so. So as our spa is coming together, you can see we have various amenities for all of your spa-going relaxation needs. When you walk in, we have our locker rooms. It's implied that they're gender segregated, but there are no specific gender doors, so your Sims can go into whichever door suits them. Once you get all changed in that locker room, at least I don't think we have gender segregated doors. If there are, feel free to swap them out as you see fit. We are not here to police people's gender. Go ahead and go in whichever door you'd like. You know, I don't care. So anyway, once you get through that locker room, we got a little shower before you go into the onsen in the large middle part down below, right there. And it is surrounded by these full-length glass windows, so you can look out into that beautiful Granite Falls vista. And upstairs, we have various amenities for your Sims to take part in. We have a yoga studio with an instructor's mat so that they can conduct classes so your Sims can learn to be their best selves and, you know, by doing yoga. If you're into that. We also have a meditation studio with very dim lighting, which will be nice and quiet, so your Sims can just get away from everyone else and just relax with their thoughts, if their thoughts are relaxing. Otherwise, they'll be trapped in a prison of their thoughts in the dark. But it's a spa, so we'll just, like, assume that they're gonna be nice thoughts. We'll, like, I don't know, pipe in some wonderful scented air or something like that. I don't know. You know, I don't go to spas very often, okay? I'm kind of broke. Anyway, we also have a massage room with 2 massage tables, I believe. I think that's all I could get to fit in there without running into any issues. I did not build test this, or I did not play test this, rather, but I'm pretty sure I had move objects off for most of it, except when it came to, like, decorative items that wouldn't block pathing. So you may have to check on that. I don't know that you can get behind this counter, but it's more of a decorative counter, and there isn't much of a need for anyone to get behind it. It's, you know, meant to represent like a registration desk, but, you know, you don't need one of those in a sim spa. But everything else that your Sims can interact with, they should be able to get to. And then the last amenity that we have is a nail salon. That'll get decked out a little later on. And it has, you know, the little chairs so that your Sims can get their nails done, manicures, pedicures, hand and foot massages, whatever they so desire. So I think another thing about this CC that's worth pointing out that I thought worked really well for a spa is all of the colors are very warm and muted, and they give me this very serene vibe to them. And I know that it's intended to be paired with cottage living to make it like a country farmhouse kind of thing, but I don't know, it's just the softness of it makes it feel more rich, I suppose. And I guess that explains why all the objects are so expensive. It's not supposed to be like, you know, your little like family farm that where you're like barely scraping by in the Bramblewood having to eat chocoberries for your next meal because you're starving. No, this is like, you know, out where the Watsons live. You know, this like nice country estate kind of vibe. And so yeah, I might end up using it in the last build I do for my cottage living Let's Play. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna have to test it out, play with it a little bit. I think when I do that, I think what I want to do ideally is take like a rundown estate, like a rundown farm estate, and renovate it. I know Simple Cheeks did one. Not that recently, but they did one like within the past few months, and I really like that one. But if you would like to build me a rundown farm estate kind of thing for me to renovate and you know, fill with stuff, please do. I think that'd be great. If you want to do that, upload to the gallery, tag BaileyCheshire, go for it. I would love to see what you come up with. There's so many creative people in the Sims community, and it's always such a joy to see what people build. Like, my Twitter and Instagram is just full of these amazing builds and creations and everything, and it's it brings me no end of joy to see it and to interact with them and to just like tell everybody how much I love them. And I need to make sure that I'm doing that more often, just, you know, letting people know that their work is amazing. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am constantly tired, through no fault of anyone's, and there's just something about looking at all this low lighting and soft colors that just makes me want to curl up in one of those massage chairs and take a nap. Oh god, it'd be great. I should have put like a bed or a couch or something in this build so that people can just take a nap. I wonder if you could take a nap on those meditation stools. But I don't know that I'd want to nap sitting up and hunched over. It seems like it'd be very uncomfortable, but I don't know if you're really into your meditation. Or like you're doing your yoga class and you get to the end where you're in corpse pose and you just... I've seen, like, there's an animation for, like, the sim falling asleep. I've seen an instructor fall asleep like that before. And I find that kind of funny, because it is. Don't question me. Yeah. I guess you could fall asleep on this little bench here. That looks pretty cozy. But that's where all the light is. I mean, I was looking at the nail studio and how, like, there's definitely not enough light in there for a nail studio. I don't remember if I went back in and added more. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Go ahead and add more if you feel it needs more. But hey, these are Sims. They can do anything, regardless of whether it makes sense. So initially I went with this green color scheme to kind of match my, like, channel branding, where, like, I use a lot of, like, the bright green. But the more I look at it, I think it is probably my favorite tone of the, or like my favorite kind of swatches in this pack are the green ones, because the greens are just so nice, and green isn't even my favorite color in real life, but they're just, I don't know, these swatches just like that sage. It's so like rich but also serene. I don't know, like I'm imbuing characteristics into colors. What is wrong with me? I think I just need a nap. Is that where we've ended up here? I just need a nap, and looking at pretty colors just makes me realize it more? I don't know. Also, why don't we have, like, any clutter items for, like... I was gonna say for fitness stuff, but maybe that's because I don't have the fitness stuff pack. I never bought it because I didn't really see the need for it. I don't like exercise. So yeah, if you do have that and you end up downloading this build, maybe there's some more things you can put in those shelves in the yoga studio, because all I could find were shoes, towels, and a basket of season stuff. Oh, and blankets. Yes, because you need blankets in a yoga studio, you know. But hey, I don't know. It looks nice. That's why I ended up having to take out a whole shelf. It's like I do not have enough things to put in here to justify having 2 whole shelves. That said, those are some pretty nice shelves. So if you use them in like a residential build, I'm sure there's a whole lot of knickknacks you can put in there. I also put wine in it. I don't know why. I built this a while ago. I don't know why there's a wine rack in the yoga studio, but I mean, if you actually do yoga, maybe you know why there's a wine rack in the yoga studio. Hey, I am not a yoga person, so I don't know. I saw that Grogu statue, and I thought I was about to put it down there, because sometimes I'll just put a Grogu statue in a build for no reason, but it's usually a residential build. And unfortunately, his green kind of clashes with the nice, rich, rustic sage. He's still awesome, though. Nothing will ever tarnish his awesomeness. But it looks like we're starting to finish up here. I'm just getting some wisteria out on the exterior. Just trying to put a little bit more visual interest out there, because clearly there's not enough visual interest here. We just have to add more visual interest. But I do like the look of ivy and wood together and stone. It is very much a vibe. And of course we have to put in some window boxes, because when life gives you window boxes, you use them, I guess. So yeah, we're just putting in these last little touches. Oh, now that I see the cottage living window or flower boxes, and I see that they're not the same color as the organic greens, it makes me really sad, you know? Because I think it was either Claire Chabon or Avalon who pointed out, like, the green that we get in cottage living is not the actual English green that it's supposed to be, but the green that we get in Orjanic is. And I guess it helps that that HeyHarrie is English. So, and she also built some of the lots that shipped with cottage living, which is very cool. I don't remember which ones exactly, except I think she did the Scott house in Finchwick. Yeah, go ahead and research that on your own. But in any case, all the builds are lovely. So I think we are just about wrapped up here. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. This build is available on the gallery if you'd like to download it and finish landscaping it for me. I will be back on Friday with another episode of Cottage Bays, but until then, like if you did, subscribe if you wanna, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, bays. Mwah! Love you.